Hi guys! Thank you for tuning into my channel. If you haven't done so already, make sure you guys subscribe as well as hit the notification button down below in order to see new videos of me. Okay guys, so I want to talk to you about my knotless braids. I have done these braids. I have a video posted of me doing my knotless braids. So I have done these braids 2 weeks ago, and so I started on a Thursday 2 weeks ago, and I started at 11 o'clock in the morning. And what I done was the day before that I had washed my hair and done the necessary things to prep for my braids, but I didn't blow dry that day. So the next day, I air dried it. I put in braids, and so the next day I decided to blow dry my hair and then start on my braids. So I realized by blow drying my hair the next day, the blow drying process has cut in half. So I will be for my next wash day, I will be trying that technique where I just air dry my hair, put it in braids, let it air dry overnight, and then the next day I would try to blow dry it. But after I had blow dried my hair, then I started prepping for it, parting the hair, and then I began with my braiding. So that took me, because I had blow dried my hair, and it was my first time doing my knotless braids. It had took me from 11 in the morning to 11 at night, and I wasn't even done. I was like halfway done. So I just had like the top part of my head left to do, and so I just decided to finish that morning at 6 o'clock, and then I was done 11 o'clock that day. So if I would had just kept on going, I would have been done like in the middle of the morning, like probably at 3 o'clock in the morning or so. But yeah, it was really long, and plus it was my first time applying hair extensions. So I was redoing the braid over because it was like really it was uneven. So I just wanted to get as even as possible so it looked presentable. My pros for these braids, I realized they're not heavy at all. There's so many videos of people saying that these braids are very lightweight, and they are. They don't seem heavy, and I have them really long. I have it down to like my butt, like a little past my butt, and they don't feel heavy at all, which I love. And I will be doing these braids again just because of that, and that was like a big issue with me. I had regular box braids in the past, and I had them long, and so they seemed heavy with those, maybe because of course you're starting the knotting at your root, versus when you're doing the knotless braids, you start with braiding out your natural hair and then adding on the hair. So that I felt helped a lot with the weight of the braids. And yes, so with knotless braids, you don't start at the root, you just add on as you go, braiding down with your natural hair, and that does help with the weight of your braids. So that's what I like about the knotless braids, that they are not heavy and that they are light. So for that, because you're starting with and just because because they're not heavy, they're easy to manage, they're not bulky at all. I can put my hair up in like a bun, like easy, and it looks flat, and it's just easy to work with. And also I can do low ponytails, and which, because I can do low ponytails, it looks flat and looks more natural. It looks like my braids are growing from my scalp, which I love. And also they look more natural because of that. If you're starting braiding with your natural hair at the root, they look more natural. Looks like it's growing from the scalp. So as you can see, when I did the braid, I started braiding my natural hair, and then I started adding around here, and then just only added like 2 strands of braids. Like I seen a whole bunch of videos where there's a lot of braiders that would add like 3 strands, 4 strands at a time, you know, as they braid down. But most of my braids I have only used like 2 strands. So, and I was completely fine about that, you know. They don't look too bad by doing that technique. So I mean, there's some of them that are not completely perfect, but that's another thing I like about these braids. They are little, you know, little I don't know how you explain it, but just they don't look perfect. Like they don't look like they were done by a stylist, which I love. It makes it even more natural, like, you know, you done it yourself, and it looks like it's just these braids just look like they are just for you, you know, like they are made for you by it not being so perfect. And that's what I like about these, you know. They're a little messy, which I love about them. So so here, you know, they're not too messy, but these braids, you know, they're just unique for me, you know. It's hard to, I'm trying to explain it a little better, but yeah, but you know, they're not too perfect. They're just right for me. And also, yeah, that's pretty much it for my pros about them. You know, they're not heavy. They are, you know, they look natural. They are easy to manage. And, you know, they just look like they're growing from my scalp, which I love about these. These braids are unique. They just look like they were made for me, just because of, you know, they're not too perfect. And that's what I love about that. Now the cons about these braids, because it was my first time, and then the whole technique of, you know, feeding on the braiding hair to your braid as you go, it is very time consuming. So I suggest that you planned out, you know, your couple days, because some people, they take a couple days to do their hair. It's not just a one day that they're finished. Some people will take, you know, 2 days, 3 days tops to finish, you know, their braids when doing these knotless braids, and just for braids in general. Sometimes, you know, if you're doing it yourself. So yeah, just keep in mind that it's very time consuming, and to do these braids, it takes a lot of patience. And, you know, just being organized with your things would help with, you know, trying to keep up, you know, the pace, and making the time a lot faster, I believe. And because you're starting from your, because you are braiding your natural hair starting off, and then adding on the braiding hair, uh, your hair will get frizzy after, you know, a week or two. As you can see, I've done this 2 weeks ago, and it almost looks like I had them in for like 3 weeks, a month tops already. But it's just because, you know, my natural hair is not covered with the braiding hair, so you're seeing the whole wear and tear of 2 weeks worth of it left in my head. But yeah, so I mean, I don't mind of this look, because it just makes it look more natural, which I love about these braids, you know. And they still look pretty good, you know. I will definitely leave these in for 2 months tops, maybe a little more, you know. It depends on, you know, if I have enough energy to take them out after I just put these in. But yeah, they do frizz a lot faster with this technique, so just keep in mind of that when you're doing your knotless braids. I would just recommend just to make sure you have mousse in hand and your edge control, and you'll be fine. You know, it's really not that serious. But if you're a person that cares about frizz, then I don't know if maybe this knotless braid would be good, would be right for you. I don't know, you might like it, you know. It's really not that serious with the frizz. It all comes with the whole natural look. That's the whole point of doing knotless braids, is for your braids to look a lot more natural, like it's growing from your scalp. So yeah, there's really nothing wrong with a little frizz here or there, but yeah. and those were my only cons about these braids. It's due to the fact that it's time consuming. It does take a little more time than the, you know, traditional regular box braids, and that it does frizz a lot faster. But you know, it's not really an issue with me, but if for people that don't like sitting or or stick to one thing for a long period of time, then yeah, it would be an issue for you for just sitting here and just doing your braids for hours. And if you are have an issue with, you know, your braids frizzing up fast, or just, you know, hairstyles that frizzes up quick, then yeah, that probably will be an issue for you. But yeah, it's really not that bad, you know. At the end, it is, you know, worth sitting for a long period of time or doing something for a long period of time, and, you know, getting the frizz after. I don't know, it's really worth it because these look really nice, and I would most definitely do this again. They turn out really good. I didn't think it would turn out this good, so I'm really proud of myself for the simple fact that I had done these braids all by myself for the first time. And I know the more that I will do it, the better I will get. And this will be my go-to for braids. So I can do anything with them, and I can wash them. I have my mousse. I need to get edge control. You know, I don't have a problem with laying down at night with them because I don't have knots starting from the root. And I remember when I did have the regular traditional braids, it was really a hard time for me to, you know, sleep because I would feel the braids on my scalp just pressing against my scalp, and it would be really uncomfortable. And you know, I'll be like, oh yes, just wait till a week and then they'll just loosen up and you'll feel a lot better. But just one night after just putting these knotless braids in, I don't feel anything. Like, it's so comfortable to lay on them, you know. It just feels really good, a really good relief compared to what I was used to. Alright guys, so thank you for tuning in, and if you do have knotless braids or thinking about, you know, doing them, just comment down below how you feel about them. What are your expectations about, you know, your braiding process? What have you experienced with the knotless braids yourself? And you know, I like my braids. I had done a pretty good job with them, and I will be doing these again. These will be my go-to. I don't need to go to the salon anymore to pay $150 and up to do my hair. I can do it myself if I just have the patience and to organize the hair, the feed-in hair. I should be good. But yeah guys, thank you for tuning into my channel, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye.